Please remain standing as we now have the national anthem. The minister is not here as yet, but we will have the national anthem. All again, and welcome to members from the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government. I know the Permanent Secretary is supposed to be here as well. Oh, and welcome back. I didn't even realize you're back in the ministry. Members of the media and everyone from the entourage of the Minister and the Permanent Secretary, a pleasant good morning to all. I want to thank the Minister and his team for visiting our corporation at our statutory meeting today and look forward for a fruitful discussion at our statutory meeting. Straight into confirmation of the minutes, starting with the attendance on page 2. Three. Four. 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. If there is no correction or omission, I will now ask someone to confirm and second the minutes. Okay. We move to the special statutory meeting that was held on the 2nd of July. Page 2, 3, 4. Again, if there is no correction or omission, someone confirm and move to announcement. Councillor.
Thank you, Chairman.
1 second, Councillor Sal. That is the 2nd of July. Oh, it's separate. Okay. We have a special stat that was held on the 10th of September. on the 22nd of July, sorry. Okay, this was the statutory meeting to redo the budget. You all have that? Okay. So page 2 and page 3, it was just one matter on that special stat. If there is no correction, please, someone who will say at this meeting. Second by Councillor Vashi, confirmed by Councillor Sean. We move to announcement now.
Mr. Pleasant morning to you, the members of council, members of administration, the media, our own police protection, our own police. I would like to say a special good morning to, I expect, our minister, permanent sec, and all others. Let me say a pleasant good morning to each and everyone, and let me take this opportunity on behalf of Alderman Natalia and myself to welcome the minister and his team for visiting our corporation here this morning. And Chair, I would like to take this opportunity, as our statutory meeting is today, to wish my African brothers and sisters a happy emancipation as we celebrate it on the 1st of August. And thank you very much, Chairman.
Alderman Natalia.
You. Good morning to the CEO. Good morning to the Permanent Secretary from Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government, and to the members of council, aldermen and councillors, to the media, administration, municipal police, and the public gallery. Chairman, I just want to announce that on Thursday coming, of Gospel Life, I will be doing a head wrap session for the campus in the library at Princestown attached due to the upcoming emancipation. Chairman, and also on Saturday as well, of Gospel My Life, I will be attending an emancipation celebration that will be taking place at the office of the Prime Minister. And I also want to take this opportunity to welcome the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government, and to Minister Kasim Hussein as well, Chairman. Thank you, that'll be it.
Councillor Michelle.
I'd like to say good morning to you, to the CEO, to the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Rural Development, and also to thank the Honourable Minister for gracing our corporation here. Chair, I also like to take this opportunity to say morning to the members of council and to the public gallery and to the administration. Chair, and also to wish the African community a happy emancipation on Thursday 1st.
Councillor Sean.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, Chairman, CEO, members of council, administration. Special welcome to the PS and the team there from the ministry. We look forward to seeing the ministers shortly. Chairman, to the public gallery, to the police, administration, and council again. Chairman, I just have a couple things to announce. During the week, last week, I would have done some site visits in my area, following up on the development projects. Also, yesterday, I had the pleasure to join with health section and visiting a few areas in my district, the Martin Prime area, the Church Street area, and the Petit Moon area. Together, I would have joined with WS Department in the Solomon Street Recreation Ground, and later in that afternoon yesterday, I would have joined with the Disaster Management Unit in visiting some of those flood victims in my district that would have been affected just recently with the heavy rainfall that plagued our land just recently, Chair. Chairman, I too want to take this opportunity to wish our brothers and sisters in council and outside of council here Eid Mubarak for next week. I think it's next week Wednesday, Eid ul Adha, and together with my African brothers and sisters, I would like to wish that community day also Emancipation Day celebrations. In my district, we normally do a back to school drive for the kids, and we are right now preparing for that, Chairman, to commemorate the event of Emancipation Day. Thank you, Chair.
Councillor Lawrence.
Chairman, CEO, Permanent Sec, members of council, members of the media, the general public. I too would also like to announce that I attended site visit within my electoral district, that specific area in regards to the Bastia Recreation Grounds, which we recently upgraded. And also like to inform that yesterday as well, I attended the wake of one of my close personnel with regards to Miss Lydia Molino, and who funeral service will be today. I also like to take the opportunity to wish each and everyone happy emancipation. Thank you very much.
Councillor Chris.
A special welcome to the PS and the team from the ministry. It's very good to have you in Princestown. Chairman, I would also like to say that over the past week, I took the opportunity to visit the development projects in my district. I am pleased with how far we have come.
I want to welcome the Minister. Continue.
And let me also take this opportunity to welcome the Honourable Minister, Senator the Honourable Kazim Hussein, to our statutory meeting here at the Princestown Regional Corporation. Minister, it's good to have you in Princestown again. And of course, in wrapping up, I too would like to take the opportunity to wish the African community a happy emancipation.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning, and good morning, members of Council, to the Honourable Minister and his entourage from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, members of staff and members of the public. Chair, I just want to announce that on Sunday I attended the National Eid Festival at the Astra headquarters in Charleville, Shoguners, and also on Sunday evening I had the pleasure of witnessing the cricket finals of the Oropouche West constituency cricket tournament, and also the presentation of awards function that was hosted by the Member of Parliament for Oropouche West, Vidya Gayadeen Gopi Singh.
Thanks. Councillor Vashti.
Morning, Honourable Minister, Local Government, Mr. Hussein, Chairman of the Princeton Regional Corporation and members of Council, CEO, PS from the Ministry of Local Government, staff of the Rural Development Company Limited, members of staff, members of the public gallery, and to the media. Chair, I just want to announce that on last Wednesday I had the opportunity to join Minister, yourself, Chairman of the Corporation, members of the Rural Development Company, in the official opening of the Kent Street Bridge. And on behalf of my electoral district, we welcome that, Minister Hussein, and it is my opportunity here also to appeal to you, to treat with several other projects which may have been made representation to your ministry, which is in dire need within the Princestown Regional Corporation. Thank you.
Councillor Ramdan.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Good morning to you, Chair, Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, the Honourable Minister, CEO, members and representatives of the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, staff, Princestown Regional Corporation Administration, members of the public, members of the media. Chair, I want to take this opportunity to welcome the Minister again and his team to Princestown, and I do look forward to positive happenings out of today's event. I also want to take this opportunity to wish Trinidad and Tobago happy emancipation, and may God continue to guide and protect all of Trinidad and Tobago and ensure that we have a safe place. Thank you.
Councillor Rafi.
Thank you very much, Chairman of Council, Minister Kazim Hussein, Senator, Permanent Secretary, CEO, Ministry officials, members of Council, members of administration, public gallery, media. Chairman, I just want to announce on the announcement that I would have visited a number of projects within the electoral district within the past week or so, and also I would have continued to visit burgesses within the electoral district of 5th Company, so as to hear their concerns and see how best we can assist through the Princeton Regional Corporation. Thank you.
Councillor Derek.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the Senator Honourable Kazim Hussein, PS, our CEO, Head of Municipal Police, of course our Municipal Police, members of the Rural Development, the entire entourage, members of the public. Mr. Chairman, I just want to announce that I would have visited my projects and of course my electoral district as well, and I would like to take the opportunity to wish Trinidad and Tobago a happy emancipation.
Vice Chair.
Thank you. Minister, Chairman of Council, members of Council,
Just don't sit when you finish, please.
visitors. I will not respond to that. I would like to endorse the sentiments expressed by my colleagues in welcoming the Minister and his entourage. I also want to place on record a happy emancipation to all. But more so, I know it was omitted because of, I want to thank the Minister for coming at this point in time, especially with reform, local government reform in the air. And I want to wish all of my colleagues who are face screening from my side of the political vessel, the UNC, and those on the PNM side like Salamat and Alderman Natalia, who will be facing it probably from tomorrow. All the best. I might be out of the whole thing, but I wish you all success and that you have a positive place where the reform is concerned.
I want to indicate that to members of council this morning that we would have gotten approval from budget as it pertains to our unutilized funding, that we will be getting that amount. So we will be proceeding to advertise and to move forward. Right? Also, I want to indicate that for the last 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, I would have attended the CEO along with the PS and also other CEOs of the other corporations. We would have attended Incident Command System, which would get at preparing CEOs to deal with disasters efficiently in the region. So I want to commend the ministry for putting that training session out for the CEOs, because it was welcome. It prepared us, it gave us an insight as to how to manage disasters effectively. It is something that the ministry has also indicated that they would be looking at presenting to members of council and also other members of staff. So we look forward to further training in this area. Thank you so much.
Thank you, CEO. The Permanent Secretary and the Minister will be staying with us till the end of our meeting. So what I will do at this time, I will continue with our agenda, and after we go through the minutes, then I will ask the Permanent Secretary and the Minister till the end of the meeting after we finish the agenda on the minutes. Right? So at this...
This is a ratification.
Yeah, and this will take long. Change on the agenda again. We will do the ratification of the minutes, and before we go to general business with councillors, we will ask the Minister to take charge of the presentation that he wants to do, and then we will continue with the meeting, but he will be staying on with us. I understand it's because the media will have to leave, so we will have to just change the format for a short while. So we move straight into the confirmation, correspondence.
Good morning, Honorable Minister, Chairman, members of Council, Permanent Secretary, CEO, members of administration, specially invited guests. We have a few correspondence this morning. Letter dated June 4th from the Ministry of Community Development, Culture and the Arts regarding Caribbean Festival of the Arts Carol Festa 2019. The government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago through the Ministry of Community Development, Culture and Arts will be hosting Carol Festa during the period of August 16th to 25th, 2019. The theme of which is Connect, Share, Invest. Carol Festa will feature several events including community festivals, one of which will be held in Princestown on Friday, 23rd August 2019. The theme of the community festival is All That Is We, and will showcase We Craft, We Food, We Dance, and We Music. The Princestown district will be hosting contingents from the Caribbean islands of Anguilla, Turks and Caicos, Haiti, and Martinique. The program for the day is as follows. 10 a.m. to 12 noon, welcome of contingent at the corner of Manahambre Road and Naparima Mayara Road. Cultural performances by group presenting the Americans, Spanish, French, Chinese, and the Indians at Lutyens Road Junction. Reenactment of the arrival of the princes. From 12 noon to 1 p.m., the contingents will be taken on a short walking tour through Princestown Center. 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., the contingents will proceed to the Princestown East Secondary School, where a village will be set up to showcase the culture of the early inhabitants, food and craft booths. 3 to 5 p.m., a cultural program will take place. Permission will be requested for the closure of the following roads: the intersection of Manahambre Road and Naparima Mayara Road, Tramline Street, Lutyens Road Junction. As an important stakeholder, your assistance and support will be required to ensure that this Caribbean regional event is successful. We will be communicating with you as we progress with our planning. We look forward to your support.
Well, we had already pledged our support to work with them, and I noticed some of the ideas that the Vice Chairman had implemented in this corporation for some years ago is now part of that. So that is very good to see that the corporation
this year's
so that is noted, because we will be assisting.
We also have a note to members of council to approve the supply of refreshments for the community sensitization workshop on earthquake hazards. The Paparo mud volcano erupted on February 22, 1997. The Paparo region is shared by the Couva Tabaki Talparo Regional Corporation and the Princestown Regional Corporation, and this sensitization meeting will be a joint meeting with the Couva Tabaki Talparo Regional Corporation and other stakeholders. The University of the West Indies Seismic Research Center has been monitoring the site with respect to geological hazards and earthquake hazards, and it is felt that the stakeholders in the area should be sensitized as to new developments. Mr. Xavier Munan, a local geologist, will do a presentation on the Paparo mud volcano, and Dr. Ilyas Papadopoulos will present a geological and earthquake hazard. The sensitization meeting will be held at the Paparo Community Center on Sunday, July 28, 2019, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. It is expected that there will be at least 30 persons in attendance at this sensitization. Approval is sought for the purchase of 30 tea plates, 1 case of water, 1 case of apple J for this event. The cost of the refreshments will be $865. Funding for the payment for the purchase of the refreshments will be sourced under 02 Goods and Services, 001 Administration, 46 Natural Disasters. Forwarded for Council's consideration and approval, please.
Council Derek, just move for the approval.
Mr. Chairman, resolve as indicated by the COPSEC of the amount that was
$865.
$865. Be it resolved that this amount be
Utilized for
refreshments. I so move.
Seconder, all in favor? Approved.
Chairman, we also have proposed traffic changes to Aldana Street and St. James Street, Princestown. This was discussed at the regional coordinating meeting for council's approval. Aldana Street, Princestown to be converted to a southbound one-way street between the hours of 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday, except public and school holidays, and to PTSC buses. St. James Street, Princestown to be converted to an eastbound one-way street between the hours of 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday, except public and school holidays, and to PTSC buses. These proposed changes are put forward in an effort to relieve traffic congestion along Aldana Street, Princestown, in the vicinity of the Princestown Astra Primary School. So this is for council's consideration and approval.
Council Derek.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, as you would know, and of course members of council and members of administration, that we would have had several consultations, of course, with the key stakeholders that would be involved in this, and we had a follow-up again and came to a consensus that this implementation would be beneficial to not just Princestown within this period, but of course for the parents and some of the residents who would reside in there. So with this changes, Mr. Chairman, I so move that this change be implemented. I so move.
All in favor? Approved.
No further correspondence, Chair.
So we now move for the adoption. So I will start first with the physical infrastructure minutes. Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, members of council, permanent secretary in the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government, CEO at the Princeton Regional Corporation, members of the municipal police, members of the media, members of administration, and members of the public gallery. It pleases me to present for your adoption minutes of the 31st Physical Infrastructure Committee meeting held on the 3rd of June 2019. I further move for your reception, reports, and recommendation starting on page 1 to page 10 of the 32nd Physical Infrastructure Committee meeting held on the 2nd of July 2019. There is no corrections I went through, so I move for the adoption of the reports and recommendation of the 32nd Physical Infrastructure Committee meeting held on the 2nd of July 2019. I so move. All in favor? As it stands, the reports and recommendation of the 32nd Physical Infrastructure Committee minutes now approved as presented. I now call upon the Chairman of Public Health.
Permanent Secretary, CEO, members of the media, members of council, members of administration, members of the public. Mr. Chairman, I move for the adoption of the minutes of the 31st Public Health Committee meeting, which was held on 11th of June 2019. I so move.
Second.
Continue.
Presentation and reception of reports and recommendations of the 32nd Public Health Committee meeting held on 11th of July 2019. As indicated in pages 1 to 9, white pages. There are no corrections, Mr. Chair.
If there is no correction, move for the adoption.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman, I move for the adoption of the reports and recommendation of the 31st Public Health Committee meeting held on 11 July 2019. I so move.
Seconder.
Second.
All in favor? As it stands, the reports and recommendation of the 31st Public Health Committee minutes now approved as presented. Move to personnel.
Chair, all protocols observed. It pleases me to present for adoption minutes of the 31st Personnel Committee meeting held on the 13th of June 2019. I so move. Presentation and reception of reports and recommendations of the 32nd Personnel Committee meeting held on the 18th of July 2019 as you see on the first yellow page, pages 1 and 2. Okay, there's no corrections.
All in favor? As it stands, the reports and recommendation of the 32nd Personnel Committee minutes now approved as presented. COPSEC, I think earlier in the Public Health I said 31st, is the 32nd, please. Finance.
Thank you once again, Mr. Chairman. Good morning to you, Mr. PS, CEO, members of administration, members of the public gallery. Mr. Chairman, please me to present for adoption minutes of the 31st Finance Planning and Allocation of Resources Committee meeting held on the 13th of June 2019. I so move.
Second. Continue.
Further, Mr. Chairman, presentation and reception of reports and recommendations of the 32nd Finance Planning and Allocation of Resources Committee meeting held on the 16th of July 2019, as seen on items A to 9, A to D, pages 1 to 4, as seen on the blue paper, with no corrections. I so move.
Seconder. All in favor? As it stands, the reports and recommendation of the 32nd Finance Planning and Allocation of Resources Committee minutes now approved as presented. Market, Management and Vending Committee.
Chairman of Council, Minister, members of the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government, members of administration, members of the public gallery. I beg to move for the adoption of the 30th Market, Management and Vending Committee meeting held on 11th of June 2019.
Seconder. Continue.
Chair, I beg to move for the presentation and reception of reports and recommendations of the 31st Market Management and Vending Committee meeting held on the 11th of July 2019 as seen on the second green page 1 and 2. There is no correction.
If there is no correction, move for the adoption.
Chair, I beg to move for the adoption of the reports and recommendation of the 31st Market Management and Vending Committee meeting held on the 11th of July 2019.
Second. All in favor? As it stands, the reports and recommendation of the 31st Market Management and Vending Committee minutes now approved as presented. Cultural days and festival.
Chairman of Council, Ministry, dignitaries, visitors present. I present to the adoption of the minutes of the 38th Cultural National Days and Festivals Committee meeting held on the 6th of June 2019. So move.
Make the second.
Continue. Vice Chair.
I present for reception reports and recommendations of the 31st Cultural National Days and Festivals Committee meeting held on 4th July, single page. There are no amendments or corrections. So move.
The second.
Make the second.
Cultural National Days and Festivals Committee meeting held on 4th July 2019. So move.
I make the second.
All in favor? As it stands, the reports and recommendation of the 31st Cultural National Days and Festival presented. Transport.
Mr. Chairman, I move for the adoption of the minutes of the 18th Transport Committee held on the 9th of June 2019. I so move.
Seconder.
Second.
Presentation and reception of reports and recommendations of the 19th Transport Committee meeting held on 2nd of July 2019. One page, yellow page, Chair. No corrections.
Seconder and move for the adoption. Move for the adoption.
Mr. Chairman, I move for the adoption of the reports and recommendations of the 19th Transport Committee meeting held on 2nd July 2019. I so move.
Second.
All in favor? As it's of the 19th Transport Committee minutes now approved as presented. Disaster management.
Chair. Minutes of the 30th Disaster Committee meeting held on the 3rd of June 2019. Presentation and reception of report and recommendation of the 31st Disaster Committee meeting held on the 2nd of July 2019. Shown in the second blue page, 1 and 2. Chair, there is no correction.
Move for the adoption.
And finally, the adoption of reports and recommendation of the 31st Disaster Management Committee meeting held on the 2nd of July 2019. I so move.
Second. All in favor? As it stands, the reports and recommendation of the 31st Disaster Management Committee minutes now approved as presented. Security.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, it pleases me to present for adoption minutes of the 19th Security Committee meeting held on the 13th of June 2019. I so move.
Chairman, I beg to second.
Further, Mr. Chairman, presentation and reception of reports and recommendations of the 20th Security Committee meeting held on the 16th of July 2019 as seen on the green paper, pages 1, with no corrections. I so move.
Second.
Chairman, I beg to second.
All in favor? As it stands, the reports and recommendation of the 20th Security Committee minutes now approved as presented. Communication and public relations.
Thank you, Chairman. I beg to move for the adoption of the minutes of the 5th Communication and Public Relations Committee meeting held on the 6th of June 2019.
Second, Chair.
Continue.
Further, Chairman, I present for reception the reports and recommendations of the 6th Communication and Public Relations Committee meeting held on the 4th of July 2019, as seen on the white page to the back with no corrections.
Second.
Seconded, Chairman.
Move for the adoption.
Further, Chairman, I beg to move that the reports and recommendations of the 6th Communication and Public Relations Committee meeting held on the 4th of July 2019 now be adopted. I so move.
Second. All in favor? As it stands, the reports and recommendation of the 6th Communication and Publication Committee minutes now approved as presented. Social Services and Gender Equality Committee.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you for the opportunity. Chairman, I am pleased to present for the adoption of minutes of the 30th Social Services and Gender Equality Committee meeting held on the 11th of June 2019. I so move.
Chairman, I beg to second.
Continue.
Chairman, I move for the presentation and reception of reports and recommendations of the 31st Social Services and Gender Equality Committee meeting held on the 11th of July 2019, as seen on the third to last yellow page. There being no corrections, Chairman.
Second.
Chairman, I beg to second.
Move for the adoption.
Chairman, I therefore move for the adoption of the reports and recommendations of the 31st Social Services and Gender Equality Committee meeting held on the 11th of July 2019. I so move.
Chairman, I beg to second.
All in favor? As it stands, the reports and recommendation of the 31st Social Services and Gender Equality Committee minutes now approved as presented. Education, Training and Youth Development.
Thank you, Chairman. I move for the adoption of the minutes of the 29th Education, Training and Youth Development Committee meeting held on the 6th of June 2019.
Continue.
Chairman, I wish to present for reception the reports and recommendations of the 30th Education, Training and Youth Development Committee meeting held on the 4th of July 2019, as seen on the second to last blue page with no corrections.
Second. Move for the adoption.
Chairman, I beg to move that the reports and recommendations of the 30th Education, Training and Youth Development Committee meeting held on the 4th of July 2019 now be adopted. I so move.
All in favor? As it stands, the reports and recommendation of the 30th Education, Training and Youth Development Committee minutes now approved as presented. We move to Tourism and Business Development.
Chairman, I beg to move for the adoption of the 29th Tourism and Business Development Committee meeting held on the 6th of June 2019.
Seconded, Chairman.
Continue.
I beg to move for the presentation and reception of reports and recommendations of the 30th Tourism and Business Development Committee meeting held on the 4th of July 2019 as seen on the second to last green page, but there is no correction.
Seconded,
Chairman.
Move for the adoption.
I beg to move for the adoption of the reports and recommendation of the 30th Tourism and Business Development Committee meeting held on the 4th of July 2019. I so move.
All in favor? As it stands, the reports and recommendation of the 30th Tourism and Business Development Committee minutes now approved as presented. Building.
Thank you again, Chairman. I am pleased to present for the adoption of minutes of the 30th Building and Institution Committee meeting held on the 11th of June 2019. I so move.
Continue, Councillor.
Thank you, Chair. Chairman, I therefore move for the presentation and reception of reports and recommendations of the 31st Building and Institution Committee meeting held on the 11th of July 2019. There being no corrections.
Second, I move for the adoption.
Chairman, I therefore move for the adoption of the reports and recommendations of the 31st Building and Institution Committee meeting held on the 11th of July 2019. I so move.
All in favor? As it stands, the reports and recommendation of the 31st Building and Institution Committee minutes now approved as presented. Agriculture and Rural Development.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I'm pleased to move for the adoption of the minutes of the 18th Agricultural and Rural Development Committee meeting held on the 6th of June 2019. I so move.
Second. Continue, Councillor.
Chair.
Presentation and reception of the reports and recommendations of the 19th Agricultural and Rural Development Committee meeting held on the 2nd of July 2019. Chair, this is on the second to last year of the pages. There is no correction.
Second. All in favor? As it stands, the reports and recommendation of the 19th Agriculture and Rural Development Committee minutes now approved as presented. Occupation, Health and Safety.
Chairman, I move for the adoption of the minutes of the 30th Occupation, Health and Safety Committee meeting held on the 13th June 2019. I so move.
Continue, Councillor.
Chairman, I further move for the presentation and reception of reports and recommendation of the 31st Occupation, Health and Safety Committee meeting held on the 16th July 2019. I so move.
Continue.
I further move for the adoption of the recommendation of the 31st Occupational Health and Safety Committee meeting held on the 16th July 2019. I so move.
All in favor? As it stands, the reports and recommendations of the 31st Occupation, Health and Safety Committee minutes now approved as presented. Sports, Recreation Facilities Committee.
Chair, it pleases me to present for the adoption of the minutes of the 30th Sports and Recreational Facilities Committee meeting held on the 17th of June 2019. I so move. It also pleases me to move for the presentation and reception of reports and recommendation of the 31st Sports and Recreational Facilities Committee meeting held on the 16th of July 2019, the last green page, and there is no correction.
Move for the adoption.
It also pleases me to move for the adoption of the reports and recommendation of the 31st Sports and Recreational Facilities Committee meeting held on the 16th of July 2019. I so move, Chair.
All in favor? As it stands, the reports and recommendation of the 31st Sports and Recreation Facilities Committee minutes now approved as presented. Street Naming and Orphan Roads Committee.
Chair, again, it pleases me to present for the adoption of the minutes of the 18th Street Naming and Orphan Road Committee meeting held on the 17th of June 2019. I so move.
Second.
It also pleases me to move for the presentation and reception of reports and recommendation of the 19th Street Naming and Orphan Road Committee meeting held on the 18th of July 2019, the last white page, and there is no correction, Chair.
Second. Move for the adoption.
It also pleases me to move for the adoption of the reports and recommendation of the 19th Street Naming and Orphan Road Committee meeting held on the 18th of July 2019. I so move.
All in favor? As it stands, the reports and recommendation of the 19th Orphan Roads and Street Naming Committee minutes now approved as presented. Self-help.
Thank you, Chairman. Special good morning to the Minister and to every member within this room again once more. Chairman, it pleases me to bring forth the adoption of the minutes of the 18th Self-help Committee meeting held on 11th of June 2019. I so move.
Second.
Thank you, Second, Chair.
Continue.
Thank you. Further, I present reception and reports and recommendation of the 19th Self-help Committee meeting held on 11th of July 2019. Chairman, I so move.
Move for the adoption.
Finally, Chairman, I bring the adoption of the reports and recommendation of the 19th Self-help Committee meeting held on 11th of July 2019. I so move.
All in favor? As it stands, the reports and recommendation of the 19th Self-help Committee minutes now approved as presented, and we will approve the itinerary for the month of August. Councillors, you all would have gone through the, Alderman Masrat, I know you wanted to make a change in the
Yes, Chair. Sports and Street Naming Committee is when it comes forward on the 15th.
any other changes by any other councillor? If not, with the one change, we approve the itinerary for the month of August. All in favor? Approved. You want to take me through yours too? Now we will continue. I feel by half an hour. So at this time, we will shift the agenda for a short bit because the media will have to leave us at the corporation. So at this time, I will ask the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government to bring greetings, and after that we will ask the Minister. So I'll call on the Permanent Secretary. Please help out.
Thank you, Chairman. Senator the Honorable Kazim Hussain, Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, Chairman of the Princeton Regional Corporation, Mr. Gauri Narayan, Aldermen and Councillors, CEO and staff of the Princeton Regional Corporation, Assistant Commissioner Municipal Police, Mr. Brian Headley, and other staff from the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government, as well as our municipal police. Friends from the media, good morning. It is certainly a pleasure to be back in Princeton with you. As I was on the way here, I noticed several developments taking place in the city center and on the entry to Princeton. That shows that development is happening, and perhaps you can try to keep pace with Pinal Dede, which we know is an exploding community. Hot on the agenda of the government and ministries currently is the Local Government Reform Bill, As you would know, it was laid in Parliament last month, and we are currently in joint select committee sessions for the next 6 weeks as we try to bring the best version of the bill forward and meet with all the stakeholders who have important inputs into the final product. I would just like to let you know that with this new bill, when it becomes law, would come additional responsibilities. So while you embrace your additional responsibilities, it is said that to whom much is given, much is expected. So you're supposed to be in transformation mode, thinking about and brainstorming how can you really make the reform work, because I know everyone wants the reform to happen, both sides of the political divide, and in fact the nation of Trinidad and Tobago, they're asking for better services, and with the reform would come the funding for you to actually give better services to your burgesses. But while we embrace the reform and move into a transformation mode, just remember, based on the Municipal Corporations Act number 21 of 1990, you have powers which some corporations have not been fully utilizing. So I would urge you to use the powers which you currently have. And in particular, I'd just like to focus on enforcement of certain laws. Because we all know we have some lovely laws on the statute books which aren't always enforced. That is why sometimes, there are breakdown in systems and persons generally do what they want. But you have powers, just use them, and while you embrace the new powers with the reform bill. So without further ado, I'd just like to thank you for having us here. It's always a pleasure, and we at the ministry, we are there to support you. We do not plan to just sit in Kent House in Maraval and run the ministry from there. We will be going out to all the corporations to respond to your needs, to see how best we can assist you, because we believe that participatory development is key for any implementation of any project in Trinidad and Tobago and worldwide. So thank you again for having us, and good luck.
I sure while we are here to make a presentation to one of our police officers, it will be much more that he will recognize with this corporation, because at the Princeton Regional Corporation, Madam Permanent Secretary, I really want to thank your ministry for working with the administration and this council, that the Princeton Regional Corporation, so far, we are very successful in terms of our development funding to receive about 80%, and even in our recurrent allocation, we are doing pretty well. Our CEO mentioned we recently get the approval for the final balances of our DP projects that was completed, and we now had the balances from that, and the ministry is now going to already approve that. So it means that before the end of the financial year, we might be lucky to receive all our funding from the ministry. I want to thank you and your team at the ministry for giving the technical staff, the CEO and her team at this corporation. Automatically it comes down to the council, because we at the council, we could move all the motions and we could approve all the projects very early, but if the administration staff doesn't do what they have to do to take it to your ministry to get it on time, we at the council could still suffer. So again, I want to thank you and your team and the administration team, and I guess perhaps that is why the minister likes to come to Princeton Corporation, because as the minister being a politician himself, while we are from different political party, he is the Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, where every political party have to report to, because he's the minister for the entire country. As the minister always say, you know, while the time will come for we to wear our red and yellow. So pretty soon, Minister, he probably know the date, because I think the Prime Minister trusts him a lot. So I don't know if he might whisper the date and we might hear. When that date announced, I will be wearing my yellow and he will be wearing his red. But I think a lot of people doesn't understand during that, before that period of time, in order for the electorate within this region to benefit and for this country to benefit, we must work together to ensure that our country come first. And I must admit that the minister had been giving us support at this corporation, and even he had mentioned, and even the ministry had mentioned, the Princestown Regional Corporation at this time is one of the best run corporation, and it had to be that the support we were getting from the minister, from the permanent secretary, and everyone who is involved to make this corporation where it is today. I want to thank them very much. Most of all, the head being the Minister of Rural Development. Minister, I want to thank you again, and at this time I will ask you to address everyone.
Good morning. Assalamu alaikum and sitaram to everyone present this morning. Your distinguished chairman, Councillor Gauri Rupnarain, his vice chairman, former member of parliament, and he said he don't know where his future lies, but I know good things are in store for all of us. Mr. Clifton Dikoto, members of council, councillors and aldermen, Madam Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government, Ms. Destra Bascom, your Chief Executive Officer, Ms. Sharifa Hiru, Assistant Commissioner of Police, who is in charge of all the municipal police throughout the 14 corporations, and I want to thank him for coming here. He's a very busy man. You all know what's going on in the country. We are training police officers and trying to get as much out in the corporations, and I want to thank you, Mr. Headley, for joining us this morning at the Princestown Regional Corporation. Members of the administration, specially invited guests, and when I say specially invited guests, I want to acknowledge a gentleman in the audience who is a brave person and a strong person. People know him in the culture world as Massive GOSINE, and I know him as Nirmal GOSINE. I want to acknowledge him, and you could give him a round of applause this morning. So GOSINE, you could stand with them, see. Yeah. Members of the media, as I said, members of the media, and I know a lot of the media went to Calibre this morning because they asked if we could record it and send it to them who can't be present, the print media. There's where the fishermen are missing, the 7 fishermen. They went up this morning. Because most of them called me because they knew I was coming here. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once again, good morning. Princestown is no strange place for me because since I was a child, I've been passing through Princestown to go to where my father came from, that's Rio Claro. And as the Permanent Secretary have said, I have seen Princestown develop since then to now. I was telling the Chief Executive Officer just now that I have sit here and I have observed this meeting, statutory meeting, and Chairman, I want to congratulate you This is a disciplined council you have. I have been to 14 corporations. They get up, they stand up, they're in line, they have the respect. And that's what we lacking today, discipline and respect. And I have seen it here in this council this morning. Doesn't matter what party you belong to, what race or religion, or your stature in life. You need to have that discipline and tolerance as in our watchwords. As I said, you are a strong person. I have observed you. And although I'm from the next side, as you said, I also know that the councillors from the other side, which is my side, speak very highly of you. So, well, you could say that. You could. So I want to say to you all, continue the good work that you are doing here at the Princetown Corporation. I am here to work with you all, as I always tell everybody, and I will continue to say it. This job I have is a temporary job. And you all have a temporary job just like me. I am so fortunate to be leading the ministry at this time. And all praise is due to God for the position that I have and you have. So, as I said, my team is always putting people first. Since I was the mayor of San Fernando, I coined that team, and then I saw it come in the Vision 2020 document. A key principle of Vision 2030 is delivering good governance and service excellence. I believe this starts at local government level, as we are often the first responders to many issues directly affecting Burgesses. As we can see, through our municipal police service, which deals with security issues on a community level, in fact, we continue to hear about the hard work and dedication exhibited by the municipal police service, not only here in the Princetown Corporation, but across our beloved country. We see things happening at the municipal level, at the Port of Spain Corporation, the Point 14 Corporation, Rio Claro Corporation, all over, but they don't get the recognition. And the media also, you know, I saw recently, you all remember the issue with the buck? How many of you remember the issue with the buck from Gasparilla? I saw the buck got media attention for 2 weeks. I purposely followed that story. 2 weeks, and so much good work going on in local government reform, the police, a lot of things happening. But because you're in a rural community, you don't get the recognition that you deserve. But you all might be unsung heroes, but the people who put you in office today, they will recognize the good work that you are doing. I see most of you all councillors throughout the country on social media and take full advantage of the social media, and it comes across in a positive way, the good work that you are doing in the community, whereas roads, drains, simple things like garbage collection. Somebody saw I was coming up here this morning and tell me, person messaged me, I don't know him, but the number came up and said he went to the public health department here where some people mining some ducks, and it was causing a real chaos up in the area. So I have the information, I'll pass it on to you, Madam CEO, and I'd like one of your public health inspectors to visit the area because it's causing an infestation with pigeons and so on. So these things we have to look at, because as I said, we are the first responders and we are the people that people don't recognize, but we don't want the recognition from the masses. We want recognition from the people who put us in office. As I feel through this actual achievement and work of these officers not only publicized enough, so there is no visibility of what they do and the critical role they play in the fight against crime and criminal activities. For example, they play a very important role in addressing the issue of illegal dumping throughout this country. As we all know, illegal dumping sites pose a serious threat to public health and safety. They are breeding grounds for vermin and diseases and also increase potential for flooding in the nearby areas. Earlier this year, a diligent citizen by the name of Mr. GOSINE reported an act of illegal dumping at Palmyra village in the vicinity of Brian Lara Stadium. Using his cell phone, he recorded the reckless disposal of hundreds of coconut shells from the tray of a pickup van. Before Mr. GOSINE forwarded the information to the municipal police, which was immediately investigated by this corporation, I saw it on social media and I contacted Mr. GOSINE myself because I wanted to know this thing going on all over the country. People dumping, they have no regards for the law, they have no regards for the neighbor, for the community they live in, and I wanted to make an example out of this person. And with the help of Mr. GOSINE, I was able to do so. In today's society, we hardly get people coming forward to assist the police with carrying out their duties. I would like to commend Mr. GOSINE for not only confronting the issue, but going above and beyond to help the prosecution by serving as a witness. To me, this is an inspiration to all citizens that we can make a difference. Coming out of this investigation, led by Acting Sergeant Maurice Garcia of the Princeton Municipal Police Station, the defendant was charged and fined only $1,000 for the offense of depositing litter from a vehicle in a public place. By the laws, and I'm reading from the laws of Trinidad and Tobago, a person who is guilty of an offense under this section is liable on summary conviction in the case of an individual to a fine of $4,000 or imprisonment for 6 months in the case of a body corporate to a fine of $8,000. So in other words, the corporate people, they will charge them $8,000 and the normal layman like myself and you $4,000. In the San Fernando Magistrate Court, Justice Indar Jagru was able to hold the defendant accountable while also displaying some level of leniency by applying a decreased fine followed by a stern warning. In other words, he was supposed to be charged $4,000 and the magistrate, being lenient with him, charged him $1,000. But I'm going to make a special plea this morning here that you do illegal dumping, you need to pay the fine. You just can't go around the country and litter the country and you do not care about your neighbors. About every week I just get at least 25 videos or pictures of people dumping garbage. They have no care or concern about this country. And that's why I said the buck got a lot of attention. 2 weeks. But I'm going to make sure that we at the ministry, the communications department, going to ensure that this person and this fine that he got here, the other people who intend to do this, and you know you could use your cell phone and tape. That is what Mr. GOSINE did. He taped the person offloading the coconut shells, and being the person he is, because he's a brave man. His name is Massive, but he's brave too, so he's brave and massive. Went out there and did what he decided to do for this country. He put country first. He didn't put me first, or put the Princess Town Corporation first, or the chairman of the corporation. He put the country first, and he should be applauded for that. And the other citizens in this country who seeing things like that, record them and bring it to the attention of the police. We have a very proactive head of the police at the corporation. And we will also get the corporation of the TTPS, because I have a good working relationship with the TTPS too. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have some presentation to make. I want to just inform you that the 100 police we promised at each corporation, another batch, and Mr. Haley will tell you all about that shortly, another batch is going to be passed out by September, so about 200 and something police officers, and we will be standing scrutiny and having these police officers in the community. More community policing should be done with these officers. We have more authority going to the police officers now, as with the local government reform. And I want to say, Friday coming is the 4th session with the Joint Select Committee on Local Government Reform. I have asked the Communication Department and the Ministry to enlighten the public when these Joint Select Committee will be held. Councils and aldermen and chairmen and mayors will have their say, because they will be invited. And people like WASA, T&Tech, the Ministry of Planning, because you know, for over the years, I could tell you I was a councillor and I was a mayor of the city of San Fernando. And I used to get a lot of reports about corruption in the corporation. And I know of the corruption in the corporation, where you have to draw a plan, and when you want to draw the plan, you have to give it to somebody in the corporation, and when you want to get the plan passed, it has to be somebody in the corporation, and the person in the corporation will fail the plan for something small and you have to pay again, you know, things like that. These are the things people don't want to talk about, but that's the reality in it. So the reform, where you will be given more autonomy, you'll be able to control all of that. Because while driving a Kia, somebody drawing plans and working in a corporation driving a Range Rover. So, I mean, the right thing must be done. And people won't like you for it, but it must be done. Because we will have to leave a legacy. Our office, each chair you are sitting on, whether it's mine or yours, is a temporary chair, and you have to leave a legacy. And you can't say when you leave office, because the screening committee didn't pick you, you could have do it the next time, because it wouldn't be a next time. So do it while you're in office. They wouldn't be, because you don't know what will go on with the screening committee. And by the way, the PNM have screening this evening for the Princess Town Corporation. You change it? So it's not today again? Okay. Okay, so I want to, with these few words, I want to congratulate the police officers. I want to congratulate you, chairman, your aldermen, your councillors. We are going to take a serious stand with illegal dumping. I am asking the public to record them, record these people. You have your cell phone and report it to the police. The police will be only willing. And it didn't take long to prosecute this person, you know. It took about 2 months. Mr. ESP, I'm Assistant Commissioner. Was in May. So, just do it, please. Let them know there's a dump site. There are days when the corporation will come around and pick up your white waste, your bulk waste, and the normal scavenging and so on. Just not go, just know why was it in Couva with the Couva chairman, I was on point with the Point 14 mayor, and all the back roads, once it's at dead end, they're just going and dumping rubbish. They don't care. The citizens don't care. So we will make them care. Because we have a duty. We have a duty to the people of this country. And a temporary one too. So Mr. Chairman, the presentation, because the media will have to leave, and I'll ask Mr. Headley to say a few words before, because he's the officer.
Thank you very much. Senator the Honorable Kazim Hussein, the Minister in the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government, Permanent Secretary Deshra Bascom, the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government, Chairman Mr. Gauri Rupnarayan of the Princeton Corporation, CEO Ms. Sharifa Hero, members of Chamber, staff of the Princeton Corporation, support staff of the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government, municipal police officers, members of the public, ladies and gentlemen, the media. It is a pleasure for me this morning to be here to accompany the Minister on his request as it relates to honoring a member of the municipal police in the execution of her duties. I must say in general that the reports that I've received and from myself I've seen that the municipal police officers at Princeton, led by Inspector Guzman, they have been doing a tremendous work in Princeton, and I wish to commend them for their efforts. I wish to, in keeping with the words previously uttered, as it relates to the Princeton Corporation, I must say that the support has been tremendous, and as we look towards the local government reform, and it seems as though the Princeton Corporation is truly adopting the all-of-government approach, in that as the reform goes forward, it is important that we all move forward together. I noticed that the last time I was here, the municipal police had just the foundation of a structure that is intended for the municipal police officers, and I noticed that the building is completed. And as we move forward, I would expect the support as it relates to, I understand that all that is needed now is the furniture for the building. And as the minister mentioned, by the end of September, we will be passing out 200 plus new municipal police recruits, and additional officers will be added to your strength. So I am hoping that within that time that we would have the office, the new building for the officers to move into. So I wish to also acknowledge the Miss Acting Sergeant Garcia and the diligent work that she did in following up on this information received from Mr. GOSINE. And it is in keeping what our Commissioner Gary Griffith has been saying: see something, say something. And if it we have been calling for the support of the public, because we cannot do it alone. And this is a clear reflection and an indication of working together, partnering with the public, partnering with the police, in that he came forward, he saw something, and he did something, and we were able to have a conviction. So I would like to, in my own way, ask the municipal police, not only in Princeton but generally, to continue doing the good work. We know we have been working under some constraints, but I'm sure that as we go forward, and especially as the local government reform unfolds, that we'll see an improvement not only in the number of persons of municipal police officers that will be rolled out to attend to the public needs. But I'm sure that in terms of the conditions and the tools that are needed to do the job, I'm sure that we will be outfitted and we would indeed be able to fully serve all the burgesses of Toronto. Thank you very much.
Very much. So I myself really want to commend our municipal police for the excellent job they have been doing. I want to commend our chairman of security who have been working closely with the municipal police at this corporation, and we had achieved a lot with our municipal police, and it's good to see now that they are moving forward. I want to also really commend the gentleman, Mr. Massive GOSINE, for being brave, because if the police have to continue doing things like these, we need to get the support from the public, because sometimes the public criticize the corporation for these illegal dumps, but they self-pass and see people doing it and refuse to bring that evidence and give the corporation the support to make sure that we alleviate some of these problems. So I really want to commend you this morning, but at this time I will call our acting sergeant, who I understand was the brave inspector, the brave officer in this event. So I'll ask her to come forward. Minister of Rural Development and Local Government to make a presentation to our sergeant. And I will now call upon Mr. GOSINE, where I will make a presentation on behalf of the council. And as I said earlier, I hope we have much more like him to come forward.
That's the administration.
I will actually see you to make the presentation, so the kissing part will be to see you. But again, I really want to commend you for being brave, and we look forward for more people within the region to come forward. Thanks, sir. For being here. I know some of them may have to leave. We will continue our statutory meeting, and at this time I want to thank the media who have to leave. Perhaps some might be staying on, but for those who have to leave, I want to thank you all very much, and please have something to drink before you all leave.
Well, we are here at the Princestown Regional Corporation, where a person was caught illegal dumping. And for years this has been going on throughout this country, and you know the backlash we get from illegal dumping. We have vermin, we have flooding caused by flooding, we have a lot of backlash from dumping. And I said I'm going to take a strong stand against it because I'm being supported by the municipal police. We have Assistant and Commissioner here, Mr. Headley, and he have pledged his support to me. And throughout the 14 corporations, we are going to call all the corporations heads together, the police heads together, and we're going to make sure we enforce this particular law where companies will be charged 8,000 for illegal dumping. The citizens will be charged, ordinary citizens like myself and you, 4,000 for illegal dumping. Now this particular case, the fine was 4,000, but the person, magistrate was being lenient to the person as the first offense probably and charged 1,000. But I'm going to press that once you're caught illegal dumping, you should pay the $4,000 fine. That's a deterrent for not to dump in the future.
Do you think that fine is adequate?
Well, it was just passed recently in the Parliament this year. So it is on the law books already, and we are enforcing it. The problem is we have the laws, but it's to enforce the laws. And I want to commend the police, and especially this officer from Princestown, for pursuing the matter with the assistance of the witness, which is Mr. GOSINE. Yeah.
Mr. Busa, tell us exactly what happened. Introduce yourself first.
Well, firstly, I'm Dirimal GOSINE. To the world, I'm known as Massive GOSINE. I am into real estate as well, and on that particular day, I would have been in that area doing a showing for a 2-acre parcel of land.
Which area was that?
That's in the Palmaria area to the back of the Barandara Stadium. When I was returning, or exiting that area, I would have seen in clear view 50 feet apart from where I was standing in broad daylight between 12 and 2 p.m. in the afternoon, this gentleman with a coquille broom sweeping down the coconut shells from his van to the side of the road. And I took out my camera, which was my only weapon at the time. I'm not a police officer. At that time, I wish I was. And I filmed the crime being committed. And that, of course, I would have placed up on social media. And just a matter of 48 hours, it would have crossed the 40,000. I then forwarded to the municipal police of Princestown, which was very cooperative. And then I forwarded it to the various other authorities, including directly to the minister himself. And I want to take the opportunity to congratulate Minister, the Honorable Kazim Hussein, because he's 1 in a million, and I'll tell you why. He's less talk, more action. And that's why I don't look at political parties and political affiliation. I put country first. I'm a Trinbagonian. And my motherland, of course, is Trinidad and Tobago. And as a developing country, it is our rights as citizens to stand up and defend our country, protect it, and help it to develop in the right way.
Okay, ma'am, you want to speak to us also?
Not for my senior.
So can you give us any numbers?
Brian Headley, Assistant Commissioner, Municipal Police. I just want to highlight 2 things. And one is the mantra of see something, say something. And this is exactly what Mr. GOSINE did. He saw something, he used his camera, and he took a picture, and he made a report. And the officers, or in particular in this case, Sergeant Garcia, she followed up, and she was able to make the necessary inquiries. And on the offense, the defendant was charged for the offense, and he was convicted. And it just goes to show 2 things that our Commissioner, Gary Griffith, has been saying, that we need to work hand in hand with the public, and the public work hand in hand with the police. And in this case, Mr. GOSINE did the right thing, and that he saw something, and he said something, and we have a conviction. And this is the support that we need from the public.
No, people say our trainees would like to litter, because there's no enforcement in the law. Would you agree with that?
Well, yes. Yes, there is the habit of littering, and if you really notice, especially by junctions, look outside the right side of the where on a junction, and always look on the right side, where people stop in traffic, and you see the amount of litter it normally has at any junction. So it's a habit. It is difficult to enforce in the sense of having a police at every junction, every corner. But at the same time, we as individuals must have that pride. And in conjunction to that, I could also say maybe the corporations could maybe put some bins to assist, so it works hand in hand, it works hand in hand. So definitely I think that, yes, we have some bad habits, but I think that those bad habits can be broken with a little education, and if we have the receptacles there, maybe we'll have encouraged to use them.
And what is strength here at the Municipal Corporation? I know the minister was saying that he must have at least 100.
Well, yeah, presently we have about 16 officers at the Princestown, and we have been, since last year, we have had some continuous recruiting. Remember, while we say 200 officers will be passing out, remember this 200 officers will be spread out amongst the 14 municipal police entities. So while the 200 may look big, when you divide 14 into 200, it's small in number. And it's continuous, so we are hoping within the next 2 years that we'll be able to fulfill that mandate and having 100 police officers in all municipal police entities.
Thanks, sir.
You're welcome.